Hi, welcome to my channel. This is the Yarn Joy podcast, episode number 6. I'm Terry, and thank you so much for coming back and seeing what I've been up to this week. I have some finished objects, some works in progress, and some upcoming projects that I want to talk about today. Okay, so my first finished object I'm very proud of. I'm finally finished the hiding tree set. And here it is. So I made these two little nests that the two owls can sit in. I put some bark on the tree, an accent. I think it turned out really well. Okay, so the way it works is that these owls will fit inside the tree. There's a drawstring. You pull it like this. I did 2 drawstring ties, so you just pull them apart from each other and it will close up. So inside, you have all your little animals. The owls will fit in there as well when you close it up. So just as a review, we have the 2 little owls that I made. I made a brown one and a gray one. And then I have a fox and a koala bear. His ear fluff is a little bit tangled. There you go. And I have the squirrel, which was the first one that I made. So cute. There is a little bit of a plastic canvas down inside the trunk area to kind of help support it. I have these little branches that I attached. It's all in the pattern. The pattern, there's a video tutorial of the pattern and also written instructions. The website is called amigurumitogo.com. That's where you can find the written instructions. And there's also a video tutorial that Sharon Oyala did. She's a great designer. I'm looking forward to making some more of her animals. Very cute. She has the little knot hole here, and if you get the squirrel down there just right, you can see that he can peek through the knot hole. So I thought that was really cute. Super cute. So I'm very impressed with the way this turned out. Very fun to make. I'm happy that I got it finished just to be able to see the end result. Let me put my owls in there. So that was a finished object right there. Okay, so my next finished object is some of my use your scraps projects that I've been trying to do to use up my little odds and end balls of yarn that I have. So this one is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is a tape measure cover. And as you can see, it's a little sea turtle. And if you pull on his head, there's your tape measure. Very fun to make. Made it really quick watching the Waltons. And I was able to finish it up and get it all put together. So there you go. Used yarn I had already, so that was a pretty good scrap buster if you had a small amount. Okay, the next item that I made was a flower clip bookmark, and it also is a pattern you found on Ravelry. You can do different things with it. It just kind of gives you the idea, but here you go. There it is. I found these big paper clips, very large paper clips at Dollar Tree. It was like a pack of 6, I believe. And they have a flat top to them, and it really worked well. I just used my yarn tail from the center of the flower, and I wrapped it around and attached it to the top of the paper clip, and there's my little bookmark. Of course, you could use any type of flower or any type of motive. I have another one I'm going to do. I might be able to get it done. I'm sure I'll be able to get it done by next week, so I'll show you that one to use some more of the paper clips that I bought. Okay, so that's my finished objects for the week. My works in progress. I'm still working on the mermaid blanket. I have finally got to the length that I need to start decreasing. Okay, so now I'm going to have a few rows that I'm going to decrease down, and then it'll end up closing it all together, and then I'll do the tail. And I found a great tutorial on YouTube to do the tail, because I believe the pattern, you have to do the tail separate and then you stitch it on to the sack part. But this YouTube tutorial that I found, as you're making the tail, it's a join as you go. And I made that the last time I did a mermaid blanket, and I really liked the way it turned out. So that's how I'm going to be doing this one. And I don't have the YouTube, well, I will have a link to the YouTube tutorial for that tail either in this video or the next one when I show you the tail. Okay, so my next work in progress is the Stitch Your Library group, Facebook group that I belong to, where we encourage each other to use patterns that are in our pattern library already. So I showed this last week. I'm still working on it. It is the patchwork baby blanket, patchwork puzzle blanket, okay? And it's a book from Loops and Threads, a book that I got at Michael's a few years ago. Here's what it's going to look like. Okay, and I think last week I had done one of the large squares. Here's that one. I'm going to be doing it in blue, yellow, green, and white. Okay, and it is Bernat Softy Baby yarns what I'm using. And this week I got 4 of these smaller squares. They're identical, just the blue and white. There's other sets of 4 of the small squares that are different color combinations, but this is the one that I completed this week. I have 4 of them, so I think that's all the blue and white ones, and then I have some other ones I need to do. So that's what I've done on that. My next work in progress is the Use Your Scraps project that I've challenged myself with, and it is the Moroccan window square pattern on Ravelry. Last week I had 1 of the squares done, and so this week I was able to get 2 more done. Okay, so this is the one I got done last week. Okay, and then I made this one, and I made this one. It's a fun pattern. You use the white for the main color, obviously, and then you just use scraps, and it's just 1 round of each color. You use whatever color combination you want. Let me lean back here, you can see all 3 of them. And then I used a join as you go method, the one that I used for the daisy square, the last blanket that I finished, and I really enjoyed the way it was. You didn't have to whip stitch the squares together, so that's what I did on this one. And I believe my squares are turning out to be, they're supposed to be like 12-inch squares, but my squares are turning out to be about 9.5, something like that. Once I block it, they may end up being larger, of course, but 9.5 inches. So I have a chart, kind of a color scheme that I'm going to do, kind of diagonal colors, and I'm going to be doing, I believe my chart is like 5 squares by 5 squares. So fun to do that. You can just sit there and you have your bag of yarn, your scrap balls. Let me lean over here. You see that back there? That right there, the tote bag with the flowers that I made? Well, in there I have a lot of yarn balls, different sizes, all colors, and so that's what I just grab one and do a round, and then do my white, and then grab another one and do a round. So the one thing I am doing though is I'm making sure that center color is different. You know, you don't have 2 next to each other that are the same color. And I try to alternate the colors, and so they're not the same. They're more random. So that's what I'm doing on that. I'm using the H hook for that. It is patterns. That pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's part of a square I think a square a month Cal crochet along, I believe, something like that. But I'll put links to these free patterns. I'll put those and the other things in the description box. Okay. The other thing that I am working on, a work in progress, the crochet part is done. And so last week I showed you that I made a tote bag, and this tote bag was Wizard of Oz. I think you can see it back there in the corner. Okay, so I have some more fabric that I've bought. I believe I bought it, yes, I bought it off of Etsy. And this fabric I'm going to use is Snoopy. It's just like the comic strip. I have it folded up, but it's a pretty big piece. I won't be using all of it for this tote bag, so I'll have plenty to make a smaller project, you know, and it looks just like the comic strip. It reminds me so much of when I was a kid, getting the Sunday paper my parents would, and with the colored cartoon comic strips on Sundays, and so it's so exciting to be able to read Peanuts and some of the other comic strips. So I just had to buy this material, and so what I'm gonna do is I'll have a red piece a little bit at the bottom and around, the bottom and then around the underneath, and then I will line it with a solid red material. So I have a red zipper that I'm gonna use, and the crochet part that I did on there is a Snoopy head. Okay, so what I did with this, it was a pattern. I think he turned out really cute. Let me see if okay, so it was a pattern for a keychain. It's on Ravelry, and it used yarn, and so it was supposed to be, you know, bigger, but I was wanting to use it for my bag for a zipper pull, and so I used thread. I used the thread that they make doilies with. I believe it's the number 10 crochet thread, and just used black and white and what I had already, because I used to make doilies and other things with thread quite a bit. I haven't much anymore, but I do still have crochet thread. So I used that, and of course a smaller hook. I believe I used in a size 8. I don't know what the millimeters are on the hook, but and then I just followed the pattern. So anyway, he turned out small, and I'm going to use that as my zipper pull. So that is my, I guess you would say, a work in progress. I got the zipper pull done. And let's see, so that's all my works in progresses at the moment. I also have some upcoming projects that I want to talk a little bit about. My son, I have 2 sons, and my older son, who is married, he's 26, going to be 27, the very first part of August, and so he was wanting me to find him and make him a Donkey Kong. So I found this pattern on Ravelry. It's not a free pattern, it's a paid for pattern, but it's like $1.99, so it's, you know, plenty reasonable. So here's what I'm gonna be working on next. It's Donkey Kong. If you are familiar with the characters from the old Donkey Kong video games, the Nintendo, then I'm sure you know who Donkey Kong is. Here's a little bit of a side view. I think he's going to be really cute to work on. I'm going to use Red Heart yarn. I have the chocolate brown, and then the cream color I'm going to use for his skin is, I believe, some Lion Brand that I have. But I haven't started working on it yet. I just wanted to show you the picture because I intend on start working on it this week, because I only have a few weeks before his birthday and I want to get it done before then. And then I have kind of a secret project, I guess you'd say, because if I show it, then the person that I'm going to be sending it to will definitely know what it is. And so I want it to be a surprise when I send it to her. It's going to be, I have another idea to make a zipper pull on the order of this with the thread to miniaturize it, and so I'm going to work on that for the pull. I already have the fabric for the bag, so I can't show that or talk about what's on the bag until I get it done and get it sent off, because I want it to be a surprise when she gets it, and she does watch my videos, so I don't want to show it right now. But I'm going to be working on that. And then I have some more, I've been really spending a lot of time on Ravelry, of course, don't we all? Going through the free patterns and looking for things that I could use up more of my scraps and that I could show you, little quick projects. And so I have many more that are in my Ravelry library that I intend on working on. I'll pick a few, like I did the tape measure cover and the little bookmarks and different things, and I will show you what I come up with, and as they're done, I will show you in my finished object segment of my podcast. And then, so that's about it, really. The only thing else I have is as you see, I think you can tell that my lighting is different now. My background is a little different. My husband was off this past weekend, the holiday for the 4th of July. He had some extra days off. And so he graciously helped me figure out all this lighting and get it where the colors of my yarn and the things I show you will show up a whole lot better. He's got all this set up here, off to the side, different things going on to help me out. And as you can see, we changed up the background that was behind me from before to bring in some more color and more interest. So I hope you're enjoying the video in the background, and I thank my husband so much for spending all that time figuring all this out for me. We've been married 30 years. He was my high school sweetheart, and we've actually been together longer than that, because since we were teenagers when we started dating, we dated for 6.5 years before we got married, and like I said, we've been married for 30 years. So that kind of dates, shows you how old I am. But he is definitely my soulmate, and I really, really appreciate everything that he does. He just jumps right in and gets things done and helps me out a whole lot, and I really want to give him kudos for all the stuff that he's done to help me in this endeavor to make these videos. That's about all, I guess. It's still hot here in Texas. And I've been working on my projects, and also getting ready for the upcoming school year, because I am a homeschool mom. I have, like I said, I have 2 sons. My oldest son is, of course, grown and married and out of the house, but I homeschooled him since he was, from the time he was 5 until he graduated high school, and now when he was a senior, then I started homeschooling my second son, who was going into kindergarten. So as soon as I finished my first son's homeschooling years, my second son came through. So we are now starting 10th grade, grade 10 now, so I have 3 more years to go. And so I've been working on getting our schedule done for this upcoming school year. So that's what else I've been working on here lately. That's about all, I guess. So really anxious to make the video next week to show you what I get done. And please subscribe to my videos if you haven't, and like them if you like them. And really appreciate all the great comments that I've been getting, and so yeah. I guess that's all. So please subscribe, and we'll see you next week. I'll see what I've got done.